Ew! What is up? What is happening? Hope everybody's doing well. So, this is a video that I am not excited about making, but it's important. When you have a YouTube channel, you gotta upload everything, right? I do wish that all of my uploads were perfect. I wish I had a perfect season. I wish I never died, but that's not the case because I make mistakes sometimes. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. With that said, let's get into it. This was the ASR war. I didn't want to upload the deaths in the middle of the season or during the season because I didn't want people to maybe see that and target my path, but in hindsight, I don't know if it really makes a difference because I don't know, like I don't think it really makes a difference, but that was my mindset at the time. Yeah. So, anyways, we have a 5-star skill. We've got a mutant right there. Probably going to be an Iceman. We have a Sentinel on counter tactics. So, for this war, we had been getting really tough matchups. ASR was just the one of many top 5s, that we had to face. Maybe top 10s. I don't know. ASR probably was maybe right outside the top 5, but is skilled and has the roster to be a top 5. So we are going to just slap on the big boy boost, and immediately you're like, dude, how do you die with these monster boosts on? Like, I don't know. And oh man, I don't know how I say this. I don't know how I want to say this. Sometimes this high tier war, I still hadn't quite figured out how to mentally prepare for these fights. How to mentally deal with the stress. It happened in this war, and it happened with an MMXIV war. Here we just got a Gwenpool. I'm just going to talk as we go through this fight because it's just a diversity note here. So it happened with MMX and ASR that I just got overly in my head. Because I have the skills to fight in Master, definitely. I have confidence in myself for that. But I was still trying to get used to the headspace you need to be in. The type of focus, the type of just trying to figure myself out as a fighter and what I need to succeed. And that is dueling way more than I was. Like, I was dueling 5 times, but a player like me, I need to duel like 10 to 15 times. So we've got a Iceman on enhanced abilities, and he just hits me with a heavy right in the face. I just wasn't ready for that. And I was like, all right, we can survive this, so we can get through this fight. And I made the stupid mistake of evading that too early. And just like that, even, look at this, 19k Sparky, just, it's crazy. I was like pretty beside myself with this one. And yeah, that did not feel good. So yeah, I was super pissed. The footage from the MMX war, I've got some of it. I think I was so mad after this Sabretooth fight that I just deleted the clip. I just couldn't even think that it was on my phone. But I'll explain it after this war. So I revived Sparky. I know I need to use him for the Sentinel fight next. And he's going to be taking damage, so I was like, well, maybe this would be better balanced if I just go in with Gwenpool, because I feel really comfortable with Gwenpool, and I'll be able to finish this fight really easily. So, just going to wait for him to throw that medium. Here we go. I'm just hanging my head at this point. But it's like, I think this was one of the good things I did do in this war, was even though I died to that Iceman, I was like, I was like, you know what, you can sulk about this after, but you need to focus because you still have your hardest fight. Now, I did duel enough for the Sentinel. So like I was saying, I need, as a player in these top tier wars, to duel like for each node. Like, so like if I'm gonna run a line and I know that there's gonna be an Iceman and then followed by a Sentinel, I need to duel an Iceman probably about 10 times. Even though I fought Iceman hundreds of times and I know all of his abilities, I know all of his animations, it still doesn't change the fact that me as a player needs to really warm up the muscle memory to be able to feel comfortable in the fight. Now, you're like, well, why don't you perform like you do in other modes of gameplay? Why do you need to warm up? And I think I need to duel that much to kind of counteract the nerves that I get. I know some people are super relaxed in Alliance War. They don't really get nervous or anything like that. But I'm just such a competitive person that I guess I put a lot of pressure on myself to succeed. And yeah, sometimes that is not good for me. So anyways, I had dueled a Sentinel a bunch of times. I used the Power Start 1 so I could be ready with an L2 as quickly as possible. That shock damage is really going to melt him. I'm not really worried about his charges because it's a breakthrough node. So even if I'm down to no crits, I'll be doing a ton of basic damage at about 30 or 40. 30 or 40 armor break things. So we get the L2, we get 2 crits, which is great, and then that shock damage is amazing. So when it comes to punishing Sentinels, L1 with Sparky, if you see a yellow dex, like he doesn't auto evade it, then you're good. If he auto evades it, don't go in anymore. He'll parry you. So I can see that was my own dex, and we're good to go. I think this one's going to be an auto evade, so I don't go in and punish it. We're going to bait out a heavy here, and we should be able to get him to go down with this L2. This is just an obvious, an obvious situation here where I dueled enough for the Sentinel, and I cruised through that fight. A much harder fight than Iceman. I didn't duel enough for Iceman. I get caught with his heavy. I evade too early on his L1. So, that's one death, but it is not over yet. So let's go check that out. Okay, so now we've got Vex's 565 Medusa. I've fought Medusa so many times on boss nodes, on different counter tactics, on bleed nodes, always with Gwenpool, and I got overly confident for this fight. It was a Bane node. I'm going to be putting out a video on Bane and how to do. I feel comfortable with all of this. I felt so comfortable that I only dueled a Medusa like twice, a couple times, yeah. So yeah, we'll just see. Fight starts out fine. I intercept her heavy. No worries. She's gonna get up to now. My tactic with Bane is to not let them get to or wait till they get an L1. Don't push them just short of an L1. And there was my first mistake. I don't know what I was doing there. I threw a heavy like super late, and then I go in with an L2. I go in with a 2-hit combo while she had living strands. Like it was like as if I had never fought Medusa before. And at this point, I was just totally beside myself. Like, what is happening right now? And honestly, it just came down to prep time. And what I had thought was enough prep for me was not enough prep for me. So yeah, I mean that it's just obvious, like this is what happens if for me if I don't prep enough, if I don't duel enough. So I was in such a bad way that I messaged and I was just like, I can't do this, guys. Like I'm gonna die. I feel like I'm gonna die again. So I was like, somebody else, please take this. Please, like, just get me out of this. So, as for the MMX War, there was a Sabertooth on 28. Now, I had never fought that node, but it's fine. It's not that difficult of a node, and it was a Sabertooth, I ended up taking 2 L's on that one, that was just so awful. And then I end up going against, I see this Punisher 99 on Vigor. Check this out. Now, I end up getting the Sabertooth down with the 3rd try because of, I had to just calm down. So now I'm going against this Punisher. I feel better, like, mentally. And I swear, I, like, pressed parry, and he wasn't, and he didn't, he just hit through it, and then I was late on that heavy. Yeah, man. And then we'll see. I do get my L2 off, and there I pressed the parry, and I'm like, I paused it. I was like, what's happening? Why is it not registering my parries? And I was just like, so, like, of course. And then I just get killed. And then check this out. So I do evade the first one, which is great. But then the bug with Sparky is still in effect here. I'm holding block, and I just get plugged, man. So that was the MMX War, and then the other one was the ASR War. And honestly, what it came down to is just my headspace, man. I just, like, couldn't handle the stress. Couldn't handle the pressure. I was fighting as if I had, like, never fought before. So, since then, I have really changed how I prepare for Alliance War. Like, when it comes to these nodes, you know, if I feel like it's maybe 2 champs that it could be on a node, I'm going to duel both of those champs at least 10 times. If, you know, when it's, even if it's a fight that I'm super comfortable with, like Medusa, doesn't matter. Create an Alliance War disparity between attack and their attack, or their, like, your attack and their health, like with a duel, like going with a 330 against a 565, and duel like 10 to 12 times, at least, you know. Maybe this will change as I become more experienced with fighting with this level of pressure. Maybe this pressure will not feel so strong as I get more experience with it. But in the, you know, for me to be able to perform at my highest level, which I am capable of and have released on the channel. There are bunches of really great fights and times that I felt where I had prepared correctly, like the Sentinel fight in this video where I had prepared correctly. So yeah, I mean, I don't think I can. I think sometimes my headspace was like, well, if I go in with big boy boosts, then I'm fine. Not the case at these top tier wars when you have these monster defenders that, you know, all of a sudden those big boy boosts, while they do help quite a bit and can save you, it doesn't make you invincible. So yeah, man, this was, these are difficult pills to swallow, but you gotta, like, especially me as a person, I need to learn from my mistakes. I tend to need to learn the hard way, boy, did I ever learn, you know, the hard way. But luckily, I've, you know, I had to reinstall the game, and it started reading my parries and stuff. When it came to Sabertooth, I did get him down, and I had a really nice fight against him on, oh, I'm sorry, I was saying the MMX War. This is ISO 8. This is ISO 8A. That's right. Oh my god, I'm so stupid. The other Sabertooth fight was the MMX War, where I had the solo with him on 27. Anyways, yeah, man, that's what happens. This is what happens when I'm poorly prepared. Funny enough, I didn't know I was poorly prepared. It was just my definition of dueling wasn't what it needed to be for me as a player. Yeah. Live and learn, right, guys? All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed watching me suffer. All right, guys. I'll check y'all later. Peace.